Hello, everyone, and welcome to our 18th event in the Nightlight Poetry Series. My name is Tom Snarsky, and I'm delighted to be here with you tonight, despite a 2025 that has been challenging, for suffice it to say, for many of us in North America. My heart couldn't be gladder to have this delightful lineup of poets to welcome for you this evening. You're going to hear work tonight from Sophie Bebeau, Madeline Blair, and Romy Rhoads Ewing. Unfortunately, Lisa Marie Basile was not able to join us tonight, might be able to join us later, dealing with some power outage issues, but worst case scenario, Lisa will be able to join us at a future reading. But we're so glad to have Sophie, Madeline, and Romy here. And before they share their marvelous work with us, I'd love to just say a few quick words about the series. In case you haven't listened in before, Nightlight is a reading series featuring poets and writers in a monthly Zoom, usually on the third Thursday of the month at 9 p.m. Eastern. At each of our events, we feature a group of invited readers to share their work with us, and having slots for readers every month means we're always looking for folks who'd be interested in participating. So if you know or are yourself a poet or writer who'd be willing to share your work, please get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. Apologies in advance. There is a little bit of a queue of DMs across the various platforms that I know I haven't gotten to, but I will get to it, and I'm excited to fill up the schedule for the rest of 2025. We're on Twitter at Nightlight Poems and on Instagram at night_light_poems_. Or you can just get in touch with me. I'm at Tom Snarsky on Twitter and Instagram and Blue Sky. I'm also via email. You can get to me at tomsnarsky@gmail.com. And I would love to hear from you. We've got a beautiful lineup of folks who have reached out to us so far, but 2025, there's much of 25 left and plenty of slots in coming readings. So we'd love to have you on if you'd be interested in reading. So I've said plenty. Now I would be very excited to change up a little bit, put my intro hat away, general intro hat, and put on the hat of welcoming our very first reader of the evening in Sophie Bebeau. Sophie Bebeau is a poet, artist, and game maker from the small town city of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Her poems have appeared or are forthcoming in Allium, Frozen Sea, Bear Review, Zero Readers, and elsewhere. She currently works as a freelance writer and designer and attends the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay, where she's completing a BFA in writing and applied arts. You can find her online at sophiebebo.com and on social media at Sophie Bebeau on Instagram and Blue Sky, SOPHIEBEBEAU. Sophie, thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to give you the floor and hear what you're going to read.
Thanks, Tom. And thanks everybody for coming. And yeah, I'm very excited to read some of these out loud for the first time for public consumption. I'm going to close the chat because that's really going to distract me. So I usually don't like to give like a bunch of context before I read, but I wanted to give a little bit of context. And since we're a shorter reader, maybe I can just yap like a little bit here. So I started writing this set of sonnets last summer when I was doing a summer workshop thing. And the prompt was to write the worst poem that you could write. And so I did that. I wrote the worst possible poem. And then I realized it was actually really fun. And so I kept writing them and then revising them. And now I don't think they're actually the worst. I think they're pretty good. So that's my tip for tonight is if you want trying to write a really good poem, just first try and write a really bad one. um, yeah, so there's 13 of these. And I'm hoping to keep writing them and see how many I can write eventually and maybe try and do a chapbook or something like that. And then I'll end it with one like super fresh new one, just because I know we like the new shit. So, all right, I'm going to start with sonnets. So this is called Oh Lover. Oh lover, you darling idiot, water skiing into my dreams every night. I shun the heavens, lead me to hell. My pussy does a backflip whenever I see your boner. I'm like a wolf in a tuxedo ordering the Sunday special. I'd make out with a fly trap or tie-dye my areolas or do one of those dances on the internet where someone points at words in the air and misinforms the viewer about vaccine injuries to the beat of some lifeless top 40 hit. I'd shake my ass and spread so many lies if it would mean you'd love me forever. I'd buy a Cybertruck if it means you'll be with me always. I bat my eyes at you. I want to be inside an expensive dumpster with my tits out. Oh, lover, I want you inside me in an ironic way, like grinding down an elephant tusk to powder and snorting lines of it off an ivory toilet seat. I want your lips stuck to mine like we are trying to win a car, and an 8-day all expenses paid vacation to Acapulco in a marathon kissing competition at the local mall. Whenever I see you, love spills and splashes out of me all over everything. Loving you is like playing beer pong with a basketball, like driving a car into a swimming pool filled with invisible water. Every time I fall in love, I have to make a preemptive declaration. Get FEMA on the horn. Tell them there is the most adorable tragedy looming, like a kitten curled up for a nap in wet cement. Tell them I ate a handful of pesticides to kill the butterflies in my belly. They laughed. They said, keep it coming. They like to show the poison who's boss. Oh, lover, I love you, but not like poetry and its epiphany, its rules, its college degree. This poem has no pedigree because I love you like a mutt, blowing bubbles in the mud with its snout. I'm picking mites from our blankets with joy. I love you in a smelly way, with a dirty, embarrassing fervor. In fact, there is no love smellier than mine. Give me all your backwash, your infections, the lint from your belly button, our t-shirt cum rags. I'll do the laundry. I'll give you all my most depraved poems, which only count when you read them anyway. I want to make you laugh and maybe get you half-mast or a little further. And if you stopped reading right here to come and find me in my laundry day underwear and fuck me, that would be okay, because sex is better than very bad poetry and better than very good poetry. And that was the point anyway. Oh, lover, finding you was like going to Walmart to buy a Fabergé egg. I make myself busy with inefficiencies, hanging soaking wet slices of American cheese along the backyard clothesline and sharing a knowing look with my neighbor's dog. You appeared from the fog like a soap opera star, except you have no sinister past, no evil twin to seduce me. Not that he would be able to anyway, with that D minor alto sax leitmotif. Following him around, you appeared like a sucker punch to the solar plexus. I had to holster my super soakers and take a hit off my childhood inhaler. Does this mean I must stay alive a little longer? And it did. So I sharpened my machete and I laid back seductively on the chaise with my shoulder pads. Everybody else in the world is your twin brother, and you are wearing a face I crave. There's no way this is all a dream. Who in their right mind would want to dream of someone like you only to part and wake up weeping every morning? Pause. Thanks. Oh, lover, falling in love is like getting caught squeezing your pores in the guest bathroom. Like, yeah, this is embarrassing, but I couldn't help myself. Falling in love is like becoming the king of the new situation we find ourselves in. Love is not time's fool. Love is more like time's chronic treatment resistant plantar wart. Falling in love is like being stuck in a time loop, an infinite surprise party, getting home late, flicking on the lights with your finger up your nose. Falling in love is so easy. All I have to do is remember 1,000 years of folklore and drag you out to sea. I will drag you into the ball pit of love to play in the piss-covered plastic. I will make you too many birthday cakes and gawk indiscreetly at your crotch when you wear your basketball shorts. I need you to know that once you start, you cannot stop loving me. There is a caricature of a daffodil at the center of all my noise that I am allowing you to pick. Oh, lover, you are the rolling above ground anatomy of a happy life, ruining everything with your brand new idioms. A million ways to pet a cat, making hay while the hay is hot. We'll burn that bridge when we come to it. I have never seen a tumbleweed I didn't want to kick. Stay back, we might make creepy desert music like the interlocking teeth of two handsaws fucking or the snapping tendons of a piano. I was a precocious child, installing suicide doors on my Barbie car. Now I'm your haunted doll, your sick guppy, the upside down adult of your dreams. You've got more important fish to fry. Reading this probably makes you wonder what the hell is wrong with her? What's wrong with me is that I'm a stray. I follow you home every night and you keep letting me in. No matter how matted and rotten I am, you keep making little kissing noises. I rub my face against your face and give you all my best fleas. Oh, lover, you could ask anything of me. When you say jump, I am in your arms before you reach the P. When you say stay, I close the door to my kennel and turn around 5 times. When you say scatter, I burst into a million scarabs and guard your treasure for millennia. When you say I don't know, I say I do. I've always known. When you say why are you like this, I say I've seen the afterlife and it was actually pretty funny in the way all tragedy is funny, like peeing a marriage proposal into the snow or putting out a cigarette in your armpit. Ask me to read from my inherited book of raunchy hieroglyphics. Let's viper, quail, chick, hill, slope. I am locked and loaded with harmonies to deploy at a moment's notice. So when you say sing, I sing. I sing, I sing, I sing. I do it loudly without hesitation. I know once you hear the frequency, you'll dash yourself upon the rocks. Oh, lover, you are the hunk whose tongue I want to bite off, the star to every wandering bark. You popped up like a good penny on a plain old Tuesday when I was behaving the way I do. I am a pie on a windowsill, and you must follow your nose. I slipped beneath your door and got too big to leave. I will accidentally take your cotton candy collection through the car wash, climb the wrong tree. You might forgive me. Then suddenly, before we know it, you'll be bending me over the back of the most expensive couch either of us have ever owned on a Tuesday afternoon, periodically glancing at the antique cuckoo clock while I make the sound effect of a fast car with precise comedic timing, and we listen for the sound of school bus brakes. Oh, lover, I feel so deeply well when I'm with you. I had to call a hero dog for help. Let me explain the nature of love. From down here in my knee socks up to my ankles in metaphor, love is like watching a kindergarten theremin recital, like licking the salt off peanut shells from a public barrel. Let me adore you. Let me apply your deodorant. Let me become the space age robot of love I've always yearned to be. I can't help but execute my code. I can't help my monocle falling into my soup whenever you walk in. I am at the height of my power in the dark hole of love. Let me put you to bed. Let me hold your dick while you pee. Let me hold your grandma's antique dinnerware so I can smash it. I'm going to smash everything that has a history so that there is nothing left but you and me. Then you can smash me however you like and afterward fall softly into my arms like a balloon falling into the sky. Oh, lover, the heart of the world has been repeatedly revealed to me in a series of increasingly erotic marching band drill charts you have authored because you know that is the only language I know how to read to let us to I know how to read. Let us become indistinguishable and horny, like dial-up internet porn, just two exciting clumps of fleshy pixels. Give me unwavering eye contact while my straps fall loose off my shoulders, working my teeth over love like cud as I slowly fold and sink into the center of a guest room air mattress like a joke that takes hours to tell. Love is constantly mutating. Imagine two perfect tits that become more perfect every year until they are fully decomposed. I am easier done than said, but you have memorized my name. For as long as you want me, you can have me. In fact, why don't you begin tastefully panning away from this poem as the world around us becomes a rippling sitcom flashback as present tense wicks away from our bodies. Oh, lover, realizing I loved you was a gut punch, like finding out you're adopted one measure before your oboe solo. While I was putting the disco in discontent, you were running your greasy hands down my heavy emerald curtains, drinking gin from the bell of a trumpet with romantic sincerity. And now look, we're having such fun, writing little notes and shoving them into each other's mouths like two retired postal workers yearning for the good old days. Every time I try to collect myself inside of love, it's like stuffing a king-size comforter into a 1-gallon carboy. A fine young man like yourself should be afraid to put a comically large femur in the mouth of a small French bulldog. You take me uncollected. You appeared to me like the sound of small, round copper bells inside of a glass bottle. Oh, lover, it almost makes up for all the horrors. The way you delight me when you hold a golf pencil with your big hands, saying my name like a spell word. The way you put me inside of myself. It's not like this with the others. I would never astral project while you eat me out. I would never remark on your disappointing marginalia sotto voce from the sunroom as I sew myself a parachute from the pages of your favorite books. I would never gobble up all the lime popsicles in a single afternoon just to make sure there would be none left for you. I would never projectile vomit on your brand new eggshell Nikes. I would never bathe in the blood of several hundred servant girls to retain my beauty and youth for you. What use is youth and beauty to a germ like me, eating her way through your decades? Oh, lover, oh, lover, oh, lover. Goddamn fucking fuck. You're so hot. I forgot how to line dance. I'm such a sicko in my pointless cowboy boots. I stuck bubble gum underneath my horse and rode him to a lather just to make it home. For dinner, I want to eat you in just one swallow like an owl. You stupid motherfucker. How could you do this to me? Stand by my side while I make animal noises at the aging dioramas in the public museum. Crush a beer can on my forehead at your cousin's religious wedding. You hold my jarred hand at the hospital covered in blueberry jam. Oh, you are perfect and sexy, like an old Nokia with a SIM full of blurry nudes. I'm going to go to the mall after this to buy you a pewter wizard and a lifetime membership to my body, my nonsense, my terrible, indecent thoughts. Oh, lover, I need to go lie down. Whew, reading sonnets is hard. Okay, I will end with another love poem because that was kind of the theme for the I guess for me. I don't know if anybody else is reading love poems because February, Valentine's Day, but I think February is just kind of a dreary month, and so love poems seem like a nice thing to do. Um, so this one is just called Love Poem, and this is the new shit. There is a curve in your math that explains why I want to wring out your numbers into my mouth. I would pull out all my teeth for you, the locking pliers, wolfish eyeballs, my vulgar curl, my scientific laziness. My eyebrows ache when I think of touching your collarbones, your rare climate, your expensive jeweled wind. Look at me with all your blood. I am a shiny party balloon. You are a poem about a needle. I lay face up under the bed with the dog, barking about love and madness. I want to rub your footprints into my gums, name my eyelashes after you, show you a new geometry, cushion cut, lab grown, throbbing, a tied off fingertip, a broken foot trying to fit inside your mouth. I can't pretend I haven't bent myself. I'm not often sure of how to live so fitfully clung to everything. I don't have a name for this, but I mean it hard and all the time. Everything you say sticking to me like gravel. I keep flying away from myself and coming back to rest my face in your hands. Thanks, everyone.
Wow. Thank you, Sophie, for that remarkable start to tonight's reading. That singular set you just heard was read by Sophie Bebeau, who you can find on social media in various places, all of them pretty much tied to at Sophie Bebeau, SophieBebeau, at Blue Sky and Instagram and all those lovely places. Sophie, in addition to being a wonderful poet and maker of poems, is also a really cool maker of zines. So I always ask readers, like, what do you want to shout out at the end of this little rigmarole? And Sophie wanted to shout out that in addition to making zines, she'd love to do a zine swap anytime with anyone. She's going to make a page on her website, sophiebebo.com, where you can find, let me see, where people can find zines in printable formats and a form where they can give info to do a zine swap. So if you want to get poems like those in the mail and you want to send some poems in the mail, Sophie's all about that. Yeah, just I can't imagine a reason why you wouldn't want to do that after what you just heard. So thank you, Sophie, for that remarkable start. The link's in the Zoom chat for those of you clever enough to be here with us in real time. And if you're on YouTube, you got to go to the URL bar and type out sophiebebo.com/zines, and it will be great. Whew, I'm out of breath, but for very good reasons. Poetry is always a great reason to be out of breath. And I'm very excited. I feel like we usually do four readers, so I'm like, we're at the middle of the order quicker than I'm used to. But I couldn't be happier to introduce our reader who is in the middle of the order tonight, in Madeline Blair. And Madeline Blair is a Muslim poet, editor, and award-winning filmmaker from Chicago, Illinois. She is the founder and editor of the upcoming literary magazine Saber-Tooth Tiger, S-A-B-R Tooth Tiger. Her poems appear in Raging Opossum Press, possums mentioned, I love possums, Ekphrasis Magazine, Orange Peel Magazine, and more. She received her BA in creative writing from the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and she is here to read some wonderful stuff. Thank you, Madeline, for being here. I'm so excited to hear what you're going to share.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. This is such an interesting, medium for being able to read poetry. It's so cool to have break out into somewhere that's not local. I do a lot of Chicago stuff, a lot of Chicago readings, but it's so cool to do this with you guys. Because the people here are not super familiar with my work that I tend to read at the readings here, I have kind of a very big hodgepodge of themes for my writing. I have some brand new stuff I wrote this week. I have some old stuff I wrote years ago, stuff about myself, persona poems, melancholic poems, poems about love. So we're gonna get the whole shebang right here. It's kind of like the Madeline Blair special with my range. So it's gonna be a little all over the place, but hopefully people like it. So this first one I wrote a couple years ago in college, kind of explaining a bit about the reason why I use the last name Blair, because it is not actually my real last name. This poem is about that. It's called Wealth Sequential on the Inheritance of Few. I was 4 generations away from being famously rich, but the machines of humanity said otherwise. I took the surname Blair for my grandmother's twice removed cousin to feel closer to anything but the shadow of my father. Even if it was her married name, it was decadence. It tasted of Ladurée macarons and liberty. Miss Blair, she'd speak languidly, dripped in gold, draped in her chaise with a real silk chemise. She is La Belle Époque baby, pin-curled queen, her father Barbour, the glorious heir of a captain. He invented us, all of us in Boston. All the mathematics in the world of Monsieur Barbour are for us. He escaped a dozen plagues, whisked off his daughter to summer in China. Her dowry was her weight in gold. She had some to spare for the Chinese president's campaign, and he thanked her for it personally. So there's that one. And then the next one is another persona poem, or that one wasn't a persona poem. This is a persona poem I wrote in college. My mom is in the other room watching The Handmaid's Tale right now, so I thought it was fitting because it's based off Serena Joy Waterford from The Handmaid's Tale. So it's called Blessed Be the Fruit after Serena Joy Waterford. May the Lord open, that is, the defiant legs of the woman of my consequential dried up husband, your commander of this household and of the state. Give me children, or else I die. They are not yours, but mine, although you be the fruit, that Jezebel, that whore in my house with the womb I ought to have. I could spite you and smite everything you have to the ground, take your sneering eyes out, your back-talk tongue. We give you everything and more. The men in slick coats and dark vans, pray tell, will not show you mercy. All you have is me in this tragic house, and the boy across the yard I bring to you will not save you now. Praised be his mercy, praised be his miracle, that we are women, soft and some fruitful, that we can be kind but should not be. It is us, the wives, who bear your suffering most, watching our husbands screw you and with us, holding your hands, digging our rings into your palm. Even the captives of the mighty shall be taken away, and the prey of the terrible be delivered. For I will contend with he who contends with you, and I will save your children. My baby curled against my empty bosom, my baby eating pomegranate seeds from a bowl, my baby singing nighttime lullabies without you in them to remind her. This is what our life will be. The state was mine to take, my immaculate conception, to give me everything I have ever wanted and forget the rest of the damned. Perhaps in the end, I cannot take it all back in reform, for I will lose a pinky when I tell the men we wish to read again and invite our Lord God to open our minds freely. But through my hatred for you, dear girl who bears my husband's name, Offred, there is something I'd see in you here, if it weren't for our unfortunate circumstances. We women will be free out of his eye. I do appreciate your efforts in these trying times. Please have an orchid as your parting gift, wretched girl. Oh, blessed day indeed. So there's that one. And then I have another one again from college that is sort of a series of a lot of different persona poems I wrote based on the perspective of women throughout history. It was for a Western civilization class. And I have a whole bunch of different ones. So I picked one that's getting published pretty soon, actually, in a little zine for a little reading in Chicago called Written on a Napkin, which is incredible. So this one, and I named all of the poems after different paintings about the women. So this one is called Cleopatra Dissolving the Pearl, which is based on the painting. And it's about Cleopatra, obviously. Embalmed in blue lace, I arrive, primed and divine to the party. A sort of miracle awaits through that door. Caesar or Antony, see, they're all the same to me. Big spender. I get away with murder if it means my state presides. I tell him what he wants to hear. Dear Antony didn't find me so impressive at the accoladed dinner. Wasn't worth the money. No, it wasn't what dear Antony thought at all. We women are sure used to being underestimated. I am only 28, only 39, only woman fleshed and true. I dissolve the pearl in the wine, darling, to annihilate its worth. So there's that one. And then I have another one I wrote about a year and a half ago-ish, called Arterial Motion. It's kind of self-explanatory. It's just a little melancholy moment. Sullen girl, you found yourself a god thing, ever electric on the clock of another. Once snow descended like blessings, called it fool's honey, how together you'd shut the world stuck as a drawer, open, closed, open, an artery rushed with bliss, bliss, bliss. Girl strange, you tremble delicate, your heart a silver watch caked in snowfall, all unknown but black and white. Your split rib cracks a smile. Chimes somewhere, mug avoidant in the alley. A projector whirs, after hours applause. Oblivious cars whip past on 2 lanes. Those weepy doe eyes mean nothing now. No one would tell you this. Your despair loathsome like a rotten tooth. Out, out, get happy again. Art is a new type of scar. Pain becomes for pleasure. You know this already. You know it all, darling, so incumbent. Some kind of love takes shape here. Ink slinks around veins. A tattoo gunshot in the heart. So there's that one. This one is another sadder one. I wrote it a couple years ago for a friend of mine who passed away in college, just after I graduated. He was 16, and I wrote a little poem sort of reflecting on the nature of our relationship. And I'm proud of the poem. It's been a couple years, but I haven't shared it very much, so I thought I would share it here. Eulogy for the blank slate. I went all year without crying about my dead friend, and the moment I did, I haven't eaten since, from thin-skinned tachycardia. Each morning and night, my heart rattles in its cage if somebody even speaks a little too loudly. Who is allowed to speak of the no more? Is it me or his friends in the car who know it all too bitterly well because they lived? When she called me to tell me he was gone, I almost hadn't answered. Tether me here. How it would have been nice to sleep after the news instead of babysitting the acid kids on the lake, losing their way to get tattoos. I got a heart on my second toe that day. Dreaming in ketamine couldn't bring him back. Dissociative mess, only wandering after his funeral on the Brown Line alone, waiting for a text back, waiting to walk back into the cold orchestra room to meet him, his tall frame hugging the piano, crooning fluent Debussy, songs I showed him the day before. How wonderful, how ordinary, this blank slate. I'll never forgive myself for being late to our duet, skipping out on summer, no pictures together. He loved to see people smile, always smiling. When I think of you, it's not your funerary eyes I envision. It's your grandparents grasping my fingers, your mother's hands on my back. I will remember you the same as you were on stage, laughing with me in light, still the same as I saw you there. I will mention you forever. So there's that one. This next one I wrote a little while ago. For context, I've been diagnosed with OCD several years ago. I've struggled with it for most of my life, ups and downs. I'm doing better now than I was at the time that I wrote this poem. But I thought it was kind of interesting, and I thought I'd grab it from the shelf to read it for you guys. So one is called On the Seventh Day, Nothing Bad Came. Very quietly, say, I am spinning and no one can stop me. Dizzy invitations to staple yourself to the bed in remission, just waiting for 2, no, 7 days until the tachycardic tremble ceases. Third prescription of a no refill. See, your cerebrum is quite serious. It means business. It gets right down to the heart of the matter as your field of vision, most soft, paints your blood on the page. You should erase it. Erase it, erase it, erase it, erase it, erase it, erase it. Did you check the numbers on the label? No, the other side. Do you remember what day it is? You can't see the germs, darling, but they might be dancing for you. The constant itch in your leg doesn't shake. I promise it all doesn't matter, but it does. If you don't finish that off quick, pay no mind to your constant evasion. No bad will come if you are breathing here with me. If you breathe in and then out, through the gap in your lips, you breathe in and you hold it and you hold it. Thank you. I have 2 more for you guys. These are the love ones. This one I wrote in November, and then the other one I wrote just about a week ago. And they're kind of paired. Graceland twice. You said it again. I think you wish you'd kept it to yourself. The reminisce, how you missed that April's cool air and soft bed of grass among the dead, a bridge to cross, a lake to ponder. You stared at me, I caught it. I stared ahead. I'm filled with so much dread, I can't see past it. I wish the day back, though I shouldn't. You made a ghost of me, empty vessel. We rocked shut as an oyster, adductor muscle stuck. When you split the heart open, it wasn't blood that made such fools of us. Where did longing get us? All this forced distance, forced time, unrealized yet all written. You said November should have ended, a fight we neither won. What of it then? What has become of all this? Who was it for? Who are you really? I know no lies, lies and a grief, which here was the lie. I love you or goodbye. I'll wait on the other side of time. Such memories spin madly. You saw me dizzy, caught my smile, made me laugh to keep from crying, made me dance, took my hands, led 2 step forth and back. Then you said, come closer again. I got lost so small in the weight of your palm. I was singing so quietly, so quiet you couldn't hear me. You asked if I'd sing it again. I wish I had. How many times can I hear the same song? How many times trying to get back to memories gone? Where are you now? You always asked this. Where are you and what are you thinking? Whatever were you thinking? All that smoke, our frozen bones, the snow that glittered gold. Oh, the year of it. When you held me, bruised red apple, you forgot not to sink into the skin. All these redded leaves and trees remain mantled on my wall. You've taken leave. Why ever would you beg me stay then, just to leave? What if this window, yours, this window on my wall, one you called ours, but never really was? The leaves now, they're changing, haven't fallen quite yet. They don't seem to want to. Like me, they can't let go. So there's that one. And then there's one more. And I'm still kind of maybe playing around with this one, but I like sharing the slightly different versions every time with other people and seeing what everybody thinks. So this is the version it is right now. It's called Warm Like Winter. Tell me about love and how it really means mercy. Tell me I taught you what love is. Tell me you'll learn. Teach me too. Don't push down on my ribs when I place your hand where it hurts. Tell me it hurts you too without touch. Don't bend me, don't crack me, don't break me, I beg you. Tell me you'll never tire of seeing me cry. Better if you tell me you'll never again let me cry by your hand so warm. I want to lay myself down in your mind forever. I am lying at your feet like a dog. I am but a miracle, and miracles don't melt. You called me a piece of heaven, little angel. Don't pull me down from there. Come with me. Tell me what you know of my name, of my body. Finger traced ribs, traced shoulder blades, traced terrified. I trembled under your touch, and you didn't even flinch. No flight, clipped wings, blurred sight by the blizzard on the night I last saw you. How many more nights? Tell me all the most beautiful things so many more times. Beautiful woman, you say, minimizing me into a brutal category. You're so sad, so pretty, so empty. Bring me back like the dried winter fig tree. Drag me back to the beginning. I went there but couldn't find you. Don't let the doves go. I'm grasping for straws. You remember everything. I rely on all this memory. I'm living in it all the time. Your words slipping through my fingers like snow, clicking my heels at the edge of your door frame, sighing, there's no place like home, there's no place like home, there's no place like home. Thank you so much for listening, everybody.
Ooh. Wow. Thank you, Madeline, for that incredibly moving set of poems and for keeping the streak alive of ending on some exciting new shit fresh off the presses. That was so, so beautiful. And that was Madeline Blair, who you can find on Twitter at Magnolia's Sky, Magnoliasskye, and at m.s.blair, Blair, on Instagram. And once again, Madeline is starting a lit mag called Sabertooth Tiger, SABR Tooth Tiger, soon, and hoping to start putting together her next poetry manuscript for publication. So if you loved what you heard, as I did, and I'm sure everyone in our chat did because it was blown up, keep an eye out for Madeline's future work because that will be incredibly, incredibly exciting to see those poems in print. We've been all over the emotional planet, I feel like tonight, and we've only heard from two readers, which it kind of breaks my heart that the next reader I will be introducing is our last one of tonight. But I'm also very glad that that person that I'm introducing is Romy Rhoads Ewing. Romy Rhoads Ewing is a writer and photographer from Sacramento, California. Her work has appeared in Had, Bullshit Lit, Fifth Wheel Press, Brawl, Carencia Press, Nowhere Girl Collective, Major Seventh Magazine, Y2K Quarterly, and more. Her debut chapbook, Please Stay, was published by Bottle Cap Press in 2024. Romy and her work can be found at romyrhoadsewing.xyz. Romy, thank you so much for being here. I'm excited for you to close it out.
Hello. Okay. Sorry, again, I am on my phone, so I hope you guys are able to see and hear me all right again. Yeah. Thank you so much for that intro, Tom. Super excited to be here. Let me just pull up my palms. Oop. Okay. I know we were talking about saving new shit for last, so I'm looking at one right now that I'm definitely going to be saving. So I'm going to start with I Just Work Here, which is a 4-part prose poem first published in Bullshit Lit. Yeah, if you haven't read any of their anthologies, any of their web features, they put out stunning stuff just all the time. Everything. Veronica, one-man band, by the way. Veronica runs everything, and she does just completely amazing at it. So yeah, definitely check out Bullshit Lit if you have not done that yet. I'm going to take a breather. Okay, yeah, this is I Just Work Here, first featured in Bullshit Lit. I catch your eyes on me, and I feel like I've won something I can never cash in. I hold my breath, like I can will you to do the same, like I'll release and you'll be gone. Like the way paramedics say never to remove the thing that impales you, to live in limbo, to wait until someone who knows better comes along. The campfire smell won't part from my hair or my skin, and I'm so light I could float right out of here. Gnawing at the sinewy white of the watermelon, I'm ravenous to be asked something, to be fed something pink and whole. Smoke sticks to you too. I ask questions like you know any better than me, and I feel like I could watch this whole night like a movie, alone in the theater, an observer, not an asker. In the Bay in the Northwest, people with brains wired completely differently from ours started to call themselves disruptors, and not derogatorily. What a sick and unknowable thing. With thumbs stuck up with marshmallow, cheeks filled up with air, hot, pink with gin. We talk about our friends, terrified. I tell you about the men I knew who would get eaten away at like that by their own hands, holding their own bones like smoking guns, like rinds. You ask about me. That's how I fill up my time. I'm not the one who brought it up. Make a note of that. When I'm at the apex of my pinkness, I let myself walk into it. Someone pulls us out of it. Conversation goes back to card games, back to video games. I sip something not in silence, telling myself I'm not disappointed. Everyone has their preferred method of rot. It's what makes us special. I suck rind while the boys tire themselves out, and I let my form sit docile, camouflaged but screaming at the cards nevertheless, the way they fall. All I am is a stagehand, and you'll never know I saw you butcher those lines. I'm not the one pulling you away from it all. I'm nobody. They don't let me use the hook. Okay, and then this next one was in Nowhere Girl Collective's Primeval issue. Yeah, another really cool publication, another one-person operation that, yeah, I just love the way they curate and just the whole vibe of Nowhere Girl. Again, check it out. Very cool stuff they're putting out all the time. But yeah, this one is I could have bitten into the sky and drank from it if I knew better. The Aurora Borealis went to all the trouble to come down this far, and I saw nothing. Clueless in my enclosure at the karaoke bar, no feet in the grass, wide-eyed at the wrong things. Of course, the hot rage of missing out comes in flares still, neon whipping, radiating. Primordial nature of the pink light juxtaposed with my sickly sweet yogurt soju Red Bull sips gleams flowing through the spinning room as I spit the blonde straw from my mouth when I can't match the velocity of the way it all turns, whether I want it or not. It all made me a little sick, the way I strayed from the stars and the ivy. I'd been given the date of the hearing where I pick a parent, the storm, or the artifice. I'd like to think I would have shown up. Makes me feel full of all the wrong stuff, heavy with ache and humiliated. If we all go through the trouble to imitate life, is it transitively true then, what they say? Does this flailing become art? It becomes less of a way to cope and more of something real the longer I ponder it. Transcendental chanting, joy getting in through the cracks without my permission. I bathed in the light of the erupting sun the morning after it all got that off its chest, and I too, in pink and belonged to everyone, the way I was at birth, the way I was when a song moved through me. I want to talk about the earth like she's a band I knew first. I want to talk about her like a girl who held me. I want to talk about her like I miss her, and I'm so scared she doesn't miss me back because I do. I am. The girl in a corset doesn't know me, but she knows something we could sing together. Maybe it's as old as time. Maybe it's from 2009. She doesn't know me so much as she knows I sprouted out from the same ground, spilled from the same starless night she did. I miss the phenomenon. The laser lights were made to imitate, and I don't know it yet. The earth keeps spinning, dancing, holding, forgiving, under a pink sky. All right. Sorry, I'm walking through the snow, trying to watch where I'm going and read. And then I have two more. This one was first published in Had. I don't remember whose call that was, but I remember all the other stuff they picked that issue, that kind of cluster of pieces they picked were really, really fun to read through. And I mean, Had in general is just such fun concept, such a fun group of people working there. Really, again, really cool stuff that comes out of there. But yeah, they first published this one, which is called After Divine, Who Said Filth Was Her Life. After Divine, who said filth was her life. And everyone thought she was joking, but I need to do something that makes the shower mean something. I need dirt, the smell of the river. They say you can look at, but nothing more. To care what lives in there, in me, how the sausage is made and rots. To load the slide into the microscope would be an abandonment in self. I think I need to eat with my hands. and I think I need to feed you with them too. All right, new shit. This is also forthcoming, going to be in HAD. It was part of their Valentine's Day Eve call, which, yeah, I was very, very excited to have accepted. Again, yeah, I'm sure everything else that comes out of that is going to be really, really fun to read. Always a good time. So yeah, whenever that drops, I think in the next couple weeks, they do it day by day. So definitely check that out when that happens. This one's called Dine and Dash. Girls don't want cars and money. Girls want to put a CD in the microwave, light off the mortar in the street before the light turns, hold your hand while we watch the sparks, brace myself when your eyes are all glitter and mirror's tales, the curse of knowing. In desperation, I look for letters I forgot to drown in the sink. You're avoiding my gaze, looking down at the carpet when you walk in. God, I want to pee the place where you wipe the mud off your shoes. I want you to look through me. I want strip poker, and I want you to be the house. Girls want to take the M train to get their aura read, tear a meal apart with their fingers, and have someone beautiful hold their head in their hands, as if to tell them it could happen at any second, as if to tell them they look as beautiful as combustion. Girls don't want to get kissed with gum in their mouth, by the way. Maybe that caffeine gum that engineers like, but no watermelon or shit like that. I don't need high fructose slobber spilling into me. I'm all neon and saccharin through and through as is, spilling citric acid and strawberry. Girls just want gums on their gums. She tells me I look hot, but in the way that means stolen. Am I irreparable if I blush? Don't get it twisted. It's not that I keep looking for you. Tell everyone to stop looking so much, just a little bit like you. What I'm saying is that nostalgia is tricky. Deception is really fucking easy. We hit the 24-hour diner where you can buy a lotto ticket, the husk of a truck, a compliment sandwich served open face. Hell, I could eat. Yeah, and that is all of my pieces. Yeah, thank you guys so much again for having me. It's been really great.
Thank you. So I was in the middle of typing a compliment sandwich served open faced in the chat. That is so good. And I am so glad that poem will be coming out really soon. And that was Romy Rhoads Ewing taking us home with a beautiful set, some incredibly memorable work. You can find Romy on Twitter and Blue Sky at Romy Ewing, ROMYEWING, and on Instagram at Romy Rhoads, ROMYRHOADS. Romy is also, in addition to the incredible work that she's doing as a poet, is in the beginning stages of an archival project of Sacramento music, nightlife, and more. So if you want to keep up with that, you can find it at Sac Dirtbag Archives, SAC dirtbagarchives.tumblr.com. Romy is also the creative nonfiction and poetry editor, a creative nonfiction and poetry editor for Jake, which is another publication. Really appreciate all those great shouts to incredible indie lit publications that are kept going by blood, sweat, tears, and love, and Jake is no exception. So consider sending Romy some of your stuff. Ah, wow, that was a remarkable and beautiful, beautiful reading. I just want to close really quickly by saying thank you all so much, especially to our readers for sharing their beautiful work with us. It was so, so cool to hear you. I'm so glad that you all got to join, and I hope you won't be strangers to this little series, which does, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, have some return readers from time to time. Also, thank you to our listeners. We've got some folks here on the Zoom call with us. You might be watching or listening via YouTube. We really appreciate you giving this hour or so of your life over to poetry, and I hope that if you're listening with a sheaf of new shit of your own close at hand, you might get in touch with us. Again, you can find us at Nightlight Poems on Twitter, night_light_poems_ on Instagram, or find me at Tom Snarsky and all the places. We would love to hear from you about reading at a future event. And my cat Mackerel is here. He's excited to send things off. He's absolutely not a big fan of me holding him, so I'm just gonna, hold him like this. And because I'm holding him, I guess I'm not holding him anymore. He ran away. We always close Nightlight with a poem, and I have this big giant anthology next to me, but we're following the vibe shift. So I'm just gonna do probably my favorite poem of all time instead. This is a poem called Automatic Teller Machine, and it's by Ben Mirov. Automatic Teller Machine. If you work at a steady rate, you may reach the river by nightfall. And if you have the will, a canoe will be waiting by the ash factory to take you upstream to the takoyaki shack, where you can eat delicious food and drink as much beer as you like until late into the night. In other words, you have your whole life ahead of you, and no one can tell you what to do or how to act or what to say or anything, said the machine in the wall before dispensing my receipt in a tiny wadded ball. Thanks, y'all.